Today, on November 19th, Archangel Michael orders you. A private detective found proof that a family member is secretly stealing your wealth. If you skip this, you will cry nonstop and lose every penny. My dearest one, the heavens are trembling with urgency tonight. Archangel Michael's voice echoes through the unseen realms, carrying a warning meant for your ears only. He says the time has come to expose what have been hidden behind smiling faces and gentle words. On this very day, November 19th, he commands your spirit to awaken, for a storm has been moving silently through your own bloodline. There are hands too familiar, hearts too close, that have been tampering with the wealth and blessings meant for you. The Archangel stands between you and the thief in your midst. He speaks, "Do not be deceived by their affection, for not every embrace is pure." The serpent does not always hiss. It can whisper softly through someone you trust. This message is not to cause fear, but to prepare you. For the truth is about to erupt like fire beneath the surface, and you must be ready to stand when the flames rise. A private investigator in the natural realm has already uncovered traces of this betrayal. But what is being revealed physically was first shown spiritually. Archangel Michael has been guarding your home in silence, watching the intentions that moved like shadows in your own family. He has seen the account transfers that made no sense, the documents altered when you weren't watching, and the promises made in your absence. There is one person close to you who smiles at your table but secretly plans to empty your table altogether. The Archangel declares that their season of dissection is ending, and divine exposure has begun. You may have felt strange tension lately, a coldness where warmth used to be, a draining sensation after certain conversations, unexplained financial chaos. These are not coincidences. They are spiritual fingerprints left behind by deceit. Archangel Michael is saying, "Child, you have tolerated what I am about to confront. You may think this message found you by chance, but heaven arranged this moment to prevent your total loss. This is your spiritual intervention before the physical collapse. The Archangel has positioned new light around your possessions. He has sent divine watchers to seal what belongs to you. Yet, you must obey this order. Do not ignore this message. For if you dismiss it, you might unknowingly open the very door that Michael just closed. He warns, your delay will become the enemy's advantage. Remember, obedience is protection, and hesitation is a snare. In the next 48 hours, a sign will come. It may be a name that slips from someone's mouth, a conversation you accidentally overhear, or a sudden revelation that makes your heart tremble. Do not panic. This is not meant to destroy your peace, but to guide you toward divine clarity. Archangel Michael is not revealing this to make you suspicious of everyone, but to awaken your discernment so you stop empowering the wrong person. The one stealing from you is spiritually weak, driven by jealousy, and has forgotten that you were chosen for abundance, not exploitation. They do not understand that when they took from you, they were not stealing mere money, they were stealing from God's promise. And now, heaven is reclaiming what was lost. Michael's sword of truth will cut the cords of manipulation, but you must speak these words aloud when you sense deceit around you. Archangel Michael, expose the hidden hands. Protect what belongs to me under divine law. Your angels are now documenting every secret transaction, every false signature, and every whispered plot. There will be a reversal of fortune so sudden that it will silence every tongue that mocked your faith. You will recover what was stolen, not by your strength, but by obedience to this message. Heaven's courtroom has already opened your case, and judgment is being pronounced on your behalf. The Archangel also says, forgiveness will be your greatest weapon. Once exposure happens, do not respond with rage or revenge. That is how the enemy lures the righteous into darkness. Instead, let Michael handle the punishment. Your focus is to protect, reclaim, and rebuild under divine guidance. Because after the thief is exposed, blessings will flow into your life in rapid waves. You will see restoration in finances, relationships, and peace of mind. This message also comes as a reminder: your wealth is not only physical, it includes your energy, your joy, your purpose. Guard them with the same seriousness you guard your accounts. There are spiritual leeches who drain your time and confidence just as others drain your finances. Archangel Michael will cut them away too, but you must stop allowing access to those who continually pull you down. My beloved, the Archangel's voice grows firmer as he says, I have fought wars for your destiny. Do not let ignorance undo my labor. When heaven issues an order, it is not a suggestion. It is divine law. Today, November 19th, is the day marked for your awakening. If you are reading this, it means the watchmen have sounded your alarm. Pay attention to every sign in the next few days. You will feel a sudden peace when truth begins to surface. That peace will be your confirmation that Michael has taken charge. Before this night ends, light a candle or simply whisper a prayer of protection. Archangel Michael, seal my wealth in light and truth. Let no deceitful hand touch what is mine again. This act will activate a heavenly barrier around your resources. You may feel a warmth or stillness afterward. That's the Archangel's presence affirming his guardianship. Hold on, because what's about to be revealed will not only shock you but liberate you. The betrayal that once made you cry will soon become the proof that God was watching all along. This message is not vervier, it's verbatim. Archangel Michael orders you to listen, act, and trust. Type I receive the protection in the comments if your spirit resonates with this message. Blessing code 440 is now released for divine defense and exposure. Beloved heart, as the morning draws near, the Archangel's message deepens. You are standing in a sacred moment between revelation and restoration. Last night, Michael spoke about the thief within your circle, the one who has been quietly draining your blessings. Now, the Archangel lifts the veil even further. He says, the enemy does not always attack through strangers, often it hides in those who have memorized your weaknesses. The one who knows your habits, your fears, your dreams. They have used that closeness to plant confusion in your path. But this day, the light of heaven is shining through their disguise. Archangel Michael shows me a vision of a golden scale tilting in your favor. Every unjust act, every deceitful transfer, every manipulative conversation is now being weighed by divine justice. You might not have the full evidence in your hands yet, but heaven does. Angels have documented every betrayal. Every late-night conversation where your name was mentioned in greed is written in spiritual record. Soon, those words will be turned into testimony that clears your name and reclaims what was stolen. The Archangel says, do not underestimate the quiet power of divine exposure. When the time is right, truth does not knock, it bursts in. And when it does, there will be no room for excuses. The very person who thought they had covered their tracks will be unable to speak in their defense. Heaven's justice does not delay. It only waits for divine alignment. Today, that alignment has begun. You will notice small signs, the tone of a message, the unease in a conversation, or a sudden confession that seems accidental. These are not coincidences. They are spiritual indicators that the unveiling is in progress. Archangel Michael urges you not to react too quickly. When revelation strikes, your first instinct might be confrontation, but Michael says, pause. Let the truth speak for itself. Those who scheme in darkness thrive on chaos, and they want to pull you into it. But you must rise above their tactics. Remain calm and observant. Heaven fights best when you stay silent long enough for the divine to complete its work. When Michael exposes a matter, he exposes it thoroughly, every hidden connection, every false agreement, every hand that touched what was sacred. You may ask yourself, why would a family member do this to me? The Archangel answers, because envy blinded them to the source of your blessing. They mistook favor for unfairness. They thought if they could take your portion, they could live your destiny. But divine inheritance cannot be stolen. It can only be delayed. And now the delay is over. This message is your restoration notice. The wealth that was siphoned away will find its path back to you, even if it must come through unexpected channels. Archangel Michael says the person who betrayed you is now feeling the pressure of divine conviction. They cannot sleep as they used to. Your peace is evaporating. You may not see it, but heaven's justice burns quietly within their conscience. There will be a moment soon when guilt forces them into the open. It might come as an emotional outburst, a sudden disappearance, or a desperate attempt to justify their actions. When this happens, stay still. Let the truth fall like thunder. Heaven also wants you to take practical steps. Check your records, review your accounts, change your passwords, and pay attention to details that once felt unimportant. Michael moves both in the spiritual and natural realms, and obedience in both is required. As you secure your resources physically, the Archangel will fortify them spiritually. This union of action and faith will create an impenetrable shield around your future prosperity. There is another revelation Michael wishes to share. The attack against your finances was not just about money, it was about silencing your purpose. When your wealth is under assault, your confidence begins to waver, your generosity fades, and your spiritual focus weakens. But heaven says, no more. You are entering a season where your finances will not only recover, they will multiply. The same divine fire that exposes betrayal also purifies the hands of the faithful. You are being refined, not ruined. What the enemy meant for theft, God is turning into testimony. The Archangel now calls your attention to the power of spoken declaration. He commands you to speak life over your resources every morning. Say these words aloud. My wealth belongs to divine order. Every seed I sow returns multiplied. And no weapon of greed or deceit shall prosper against me. As you speak, Michael's presence amplifies your words in the spiritual realm. Angels move according to confession. When you declare truth, they build protection around it. Michael reveals another mystery. This betrayal was permitted only so you could learn discernment. You have always been generous, but sometimes your open heart made you vulnerable to manipulation. Now, your generosity will become guided wisdom. You will still bless others, but with the discernment of heaven, knowing who is worthy of what you carry. This experience, though painful, will sharpen your spirit. You are being trained to handle greater wealth, greater responsibility, and greater light. The Archangel whispers, fear not the exposure, for it is your deliverance. You are not losing family, you are losing pretense. Those who truly love you will stand firm when truth surfaces. Those who vanish were never meant to walk in your next season. God is pruning your circle for growth. What feels like betrayal is actually divine subtraction, removing what would have destroyed your future if left unchecked. Before this message ends, the Archangel gives a final instruction for tonight. Take a moment of stillness. Close your eyes and picture a radiant blue light surrounding you. That is the color of Michael's presence. Imagine it expanding around your home, your bank accounts, your work, and your relationships. Whisper these words, Archangel Michael, let your light expose deceit and preserve my inheritance. Where the enemy touched, let restoration begin. You might sense a tingling warmth or even tears as you pray. That is not emotion alone. It is confirmation. The heavens are responding. The chain of loss is breaking. From this moment, no force of deception will have permission to touch your blessings again. Stay with me, beloved, because what happens next will reveal the name, the motive, and the divine reversal that follows. You will not want to miss it, for it holds the proof that heaven never sleeps. Type "I claim restoration" in the comments if this speaks to your spirit. Blessing code 554 has now been activated to restore what was lost and multiply what remains. My precious one, the winds of revelation are growing stronger. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, his presence sharper than the sword of truth he wields. You have walked through uncertainty, through whispers of betrayal and unseen loss, but now the hour of confrontation has begun. The Archangel declares, the time of silence has ended. What was hidden in darkness will now cry out for judgment. Heaven has taken your pain personally, and divine justice has been set in motion. Michael says the one who betrayed you thought they could hide behind false innocence. They smiled as if nothing was wrong, laughed at your table, and pretended love while secretly plotting theft. But their mask is cracking. The energy around them is shifting. They feel exposed even before you confront them because your guardian has already placed light over every shadow. This exposure is not meant to humiliate them. It is meant to liberate you. Heaven's goal is not revenge, it is restoration. And restoration cannot happen while deception still breathes in the room. You may soon receive a message, a call, or a subtle confession disguised as casual conversation. Pay attention to tone more than words, to energy more than expressions. The guilty cannot sustain peace when confronted by divine presence. The Archangel says their words will tremble before they speak. A trembling is your sign. You are about to witness the unraveling of their plan, not through chaos but through heavenly orchestration. Michael reminds you that forgiveness will be the shield that guards your victory. When exposure occurs, the tempter will whisper bitterness into your heart. Resist it. The moment you choose peace, heaven releases restoration at a higher speed. You are not to avenge yourself, for vengeance belongs to God. Your task is to stand firm, silent, and confident that no curse can touch what God has reclaimed. There is another reason heaven allowed this betrayal. It was to show you the depth of your own anointing. The enemy never wastes energy on the unimportant. The attack against your wealth, your peace, and your family connection was proof that your calling carries divine authority. Archangel Michael says, you are not merely blessed, you are a key carrier of generational restoration. What they stole was not only money. They tried to steal the legacy God placed within your bloodline. But God is a perfect restorer. You will rise from this not with less, but with double. Michael shows a vision of you standing before a golden door. Behind it lies the abundance withheld from you, opportunities, finances, healing, peace, and open favor. The Archangel places his hand on the door and says, the thief is exposed. The lock is broken. Within the next few days, there will be a shift. Unexpected favor will locate you. A financial opportunity, a breakthrough, or a sudden open door will appear as if out of nowhere. Do not dismiss it as coincidence. It is divine compensation for what was stolen. But before restoration manifests fully, there is one act required. You must verbally cut ties with the energy of betrayal. Speak this prayer with authority. Archangel Michael, I release all emotional debt connected to those who betrayed me. I reclaim my divine inheritance. I command my wealth and peace to return under the law of divine justice. As you speak, heaven records your declaration as a spiritual contract. Every word builds a wall of fire around your blessings. Michael says that as you speak, your spirit will feel lighter. That lightness is the removal of spiritual residue left by deceit. Do not mistake it for emptiness. It is cleansing. You are being reset to receive fresh wealth without contamination from old energies. The Archangel is purifying not only your finances, but also your spiritual atmosphere. You may even notice improved sleep, clearer thoughts, and a renewed sense of direction. These are signs that divine justice has begun its work. Heaven now warns you to be selective with whom you share future victories. The same openness that once allowed betrayal cannot be repeated. From now on, your abundance must be protected with discernment. Archangel Michael says, not every listener is a supporter. Some clap with envy in their hands. Share your dreams only with those who carry the same light within them. The fewer who know your plans, the harder it will be for darkness to interfere again. And now listen closely. The Archangel reveals something sacred. A new financial flow is being prepared for you. It may come through a new idea, an unexpected connection, or divine inspiration that feels too sudden to be logical. When it comes, do not delay. Act upon it quickly, for it carries the vibration of your restoration. The enemy's trap was not meant to destroy you, it was meant to delay you. But every delay ends today. You will now walk in accelerated favor. Hold your head high, beloved. Do not let the pain of exposure steal your joy. Remember, when God reveals betrayal, He is also confirming your chosen status. Only those destined for greatness experience such battles. You were never meant to drown in loss. You were meant to rise through revelation. Michael says, lift your eyes, for new abundance approaches, guarded by my flame. Before we close this part, let me tell you something vital. If you are listening to this and it burns within your spirit, it means the Archangel is speaking directly to you. Do not ignore the stirring in your heart. It is divine confirmation. Heaven does not send random messages. It sends targeted assignments. You are being chosen to protect your lineage from generational theft. What you recover will bless not only you but those who come after you. Now pause for a moment. Place your hand over your heart and whisper, I am not a victim. I am chosen for restoration. I release every chain of deceit. I walk under divine protection and favor. Feel the strength in your words. The declaration activates your breakthrough. Before you scroll away, listen. This is the moment where heaven aligns with your faith. Like, share, and comment so this message reaches every soul who needs Michael's protection. Spread the light and subscribe so you never miss another divine transmission. The more this word travels, the more souls will awaken to truth. Type I stand in divine justice in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 is now active for heavenly compensation and unstoppable restoration. Now, as the fire of revelation settles, I must share something important from the heart. When you stand in the flow of messages like this, you are part of heaven's movement on earth. If you feel the call to help this mission spread further, this is your moment to act in faith. Every seed you plant through super thanks, channel membership, or PayPal becomes a spiritual offering that fuels the reaching of souls who have lost hope. This isn't about donation. It's about activation. When you give, you partner with the light. The Archangel declares, those who sow into the light will never walk in lack. As you release your gift, imagine it turning into oil that anoints this message to travel across nations. The heavens record your obedience, and in return, the same light that exposes deceit will shine upon your finances. Remember, this is not charity, it is covenant. God sees your act and multiplies it. If you feel the nudge, obey it now. The PayPal link is in the video description. Step into this prophetic exchange and let your giving speak louder than your fear. As you do, may the river of abundance flood your home, may debts dissolve, and may your name be written among those who carry divine truth into the world. The Archangel seals this word. Those who give in faith will never beg for light. Beloved listener, breathe deeply, for the atmosphere around you has changed. The Archangel's flame is no longer at rest. It is moving, circling, purging, and restoring what was once tampered with. Archangel Michael speaks again tonight, his voice calm but carrying the weight of divine authority. The time of reversal has arrived, he says. You will not remain the same after this hour. Everything that has been draining your peace, emotionally, financially, spiritually, is about to be uprooted. Heaven is reordering your destiny, piece by piece. You may feel the aftermath of exposure weighing on your heart. Questions may haunt you. Why did they do it? How could someone I trusted become my undoing? But the Archangel whispers, do not seek understanding from those without truth. Their hearts were not built to carry your calling. They emit your grace, your favor, your light. It was not wealth alone they wanted. They wanted your position under divine favor. But what is given by heaven cannot be stolen by hands of flesh. What they touched has now been sanctified through your endurance. Michael stands in the courtroom of heaven holding your spiritual file. Within it are every prayer you whispered in frustration, every tear shed in confusion, every sleepless night of fear. He presents it before the throne and says, this child has suffered enough. Divine justice does not always appear as thunder. It often arrives as quiet restoration. You will soon begin to notice strange coincidences that tilt in your favor. Forgotten debts being repaid, unexpected refunds, or new sources of income that seem too perfectly timed to be random. That is the signature of Archangel Michael. He restores in ways that leave no doubt about divine involvement. The Archangel instructs you now to prepare your environment for overflow. Clutter and chaos are spiritual blockages. Clean your space, not only for appearance, but as a prophetic act. As you clean, speak this aloud. I make room for what heaven is sending. No old energy will stay where new abundance is coming. This simple obedience will align your physical surroundings with your spiritual upgrade. Michael says that heaven always honors preparation. He also reveals that the person who betrayed you is nearing a spiritual breaking point. They have begun to feel the weight of their actions. They thought your silence meant defeat, but now they are realizing your quietness with divine restraint. When they look at you next, they will sense the presence of something beyond human understanding. That presence is the Archangel himself standing guard beside you. You need not lift your voice in confrontation. Your very presence will carry the authority of truth. Their guilt will expose them more effectively than any accusation. Michael says, do not let pity turn into partnership again. Forgiveness does not require reattachment. You may forgive them and still keep your distance. Mercy is divine, but wisdom is essential. When God delivers you, He does not intend for you to walk back into the same fire. Let the exposure remain a lesson, not a wound. Every betrayal becomes a teacher when viewed through the eyes of purpose. You are wiser now, stronger now, and more protected than ever before. In this moment, heaven instructs you to release one last tie: fear of the future. Many who have been betrayed begin to distrust everything, even their blessings. But Archangel Michael warns, if you let fear guard your heart, it will also block your favor. Open yourself again to receive, but this time, let discernment filter what enters. Fear builds walls, but faith builds doors. And the door opening before you is glowing brighter by the minute. The Archangel now lifts his sword toward the east, signifying new beginnings. He declares, your sunrise is not delayed. It is dawning now. Every spiritual attack that sought to drain your resources is being reversed. The seeds of betrayal are being turned into harvests of abundance. There will be nights when you feel a sudden calm or a peaceful heaviness while resting. That is the sign that heaven's army is surrounding your dwelling. When this happens, whisper thanks and rest, for divine restoration works best in silence. A word for you tonight. The same table where betrayal occurred will soon become a table of testimony. Those who thought you had fallen will watch your rise and know that your protection was not of man but of heaven. You will not need to prove your innocence or explain your comeback. The evidence will speak louder than your words. Archangel Michael says, your restoration will not be a rumor. It will be visible. Prepare for divine acceleration. You may have waited months or years for recompense, but heaven does not restore in the same measure of loss. When restoration comes, it multiplies. You will recover lost time, lost joy, lost confidence, and lost wealth all at once. There will be no more trickle of blessings, only floods. And when the flood comes, give thanks quickly, for gratitude sustains miracles longer than prayer alone. Michael commands you to keep your spiritual posture high. Wake each morning declaring, my angels are at work, my path is protected, my provision is secure. Do not let your mind rehearse past pain, for that feeds the enemy's memory. Focus instead on what God is building. Your wealth is no longer under human control. It has been transferred into divine custody. Every new opportunity coming your way is shielded by light. The Archangel's message ends tonight with a soft but powerful decree. From this moment, anyone who plots against you plots against heaven itself. That statement is final. You are no longer standing alone in battle. Your name hath been written on the shield of divine defense. Trust that no harm can cross that boundary. Before this message closes, take a deep breath. Feel the warmth that surrounds you now. That is not imagination. It is Michael's flame of assurance. Whisper this final declaration. Archangel Michael, I seal this restoration under divine truth. No shadow shall reclaim what I have recovered. Let those words linger. They activate the final seal of your protection. Hold on, because what comes next will move beyond exposure into full manifestation. The Archangel's next revelation will reveal how your wealth begins to multiply and the sacred purpose behind its return. You'll want to stay until the very end, for this next shift will confirm that heaven has favored you among many. Type I receive my divine reversal in the comments if this resonates with your soul. Blessing code 888 is now released for total recovery, divine expansion, and supernatural favor. Beloved child of light, take a moment and still your heart. The night is heavy with divine energy, for Archangel Michael has stepped forward with new instructions. The air around you may feel different, almost electric, as if something unseen is being rearranged. It is not imagination. It is the sound of your destiny shifting. The Archangel says, heaven's accounting books are being balanced tonight. What was taken from you unjustly is now being recorded for return. Every moment of anxiety, every sleepless night, and every tear shed has been converted into spiritual currency. You are about to see divine repayment with interest. Michael begins by revealing a secret about the season you are entering. He says that in the spiritual world, every betrayal carries two purposes. One is to weaken the unprepared, and the other is to awaken the chosen. You were not meant to be broken. You were meant to be refined. The fire that burned through your trust is now transforming into the light that exposes deceit permanently. Those who once deceived you will never again have the power to harm you, for the Archangel's flame has marked you with recognition in the unseen realms. Darkness now knows your name and fears it. Heaven has taken note of how you responded when everything around you began to collapse. You did not curse God. You cried, but you kept faith alive. That small ember of belief was enough for the Archangel to act. Michael says, "The faithful are never forsaken. They are fortified." Because you stayed in alignment, heaven has chosen to repay not only what was stolen but also what was delayed. The opportunities that slipped away, the connections that vanished, the promotions that never came, they were all suspended until the deceivers were removed from your path. Now that removal has taken place, in the physical world, you might notice events shifting in odd patterns. Maybe someone from your past suddenly reaches out, or an old ID you abandoned resurfaces. These are not random occurrences. They are divine reopenings. When the Archangel restores, he does not only give back the stolen, he reopens the doors that were unjustly closed. Every closed door is now reconsidered by heaven. You will soon find yourself at the center of opportunities that feel tailor-made for you. The Archangel is reconstructing your timeline. But Michael warns, do not rush into every open door. Some doors are tests. He says discernment is your compass. Greed is your trap. The same enemy that once used a loved one to drain your wealth may attempt a new disguise, perhaps through business, through friendship, or even through your own impatience. Wait for the sign of peace before moving. Peace is heaven's yes. Confusion is its no. When you feel stillness in your heart, that is the mark of divine approval. The Archangel shows a vision of your life as a golden vessel with cracks from past wounds. He says, do not hide the cracks. They are proof of endurance. Each crack that once symbolized loss now glows with holy fire. What the world calls scars, heaven calls entry points for light. You are no longer fragile. You are radiant. Those who underestimated your strength will be unable to comprehend how you rose again. This is what divine recovery looks like. It doesn't restore you to what you were. It transforms you into something far greater. Michael's next words are firm yet filled with compassion. You will be entrusted with new wealth, but it must serve heaven's design. The purpose of your abundance is not mere comfort. It is impact. The Archangel says your restored prosperity will carry an assignment to bring freedom to others who are still trapped in cycles of loss and deception. You are being raised as a restorer of generations. This is why the attack against you was so intense. The enemy wanted to stop you before you became a deliverer. But heaven has already declared, the curse ends with you. Now the Archangel commands you to write. He says, write your future as a decree, not a dream. Take a journal or sheet of paper and write the following. I am fully restored. My wealth, peace, and calling are aligned with divine truth. Nothing made, nothing broken, nothing stone. As you write, heaven records your words as a formal declaration. Angels move according to written and spoken decree. This is not superstition. It is spiritual law. You are co-authoring your new chapter with divine guidance. You may soon begin to feel your energy return, as if the heaviness around your shoulders is lifting. That is the Archangel clearing the residue of deception. Sometimes you will wake suddenly at night with thoughts or visions that feel inspired. Do not dismiss them. Write them down, for they are instructions for your new financial flow. Michael is teaching you to operate under supernatural management. You will notice patterns: when to act, when to pause, and when to sow. Every decision guided by peace will yield exponential results. Now comes a promise. The wealth that returns to you will not only restore what was lost, but carry divine proof attached to it. Every time you receive increase, something in your spirit will whisper, "This is repayment." Heaven wants you to recognize every blessing as an answered prayer. The Archangel says, "Do not forget gratitude. It is the key that keeps the gates open." Thankfulness is not a courtesy. It is a weapon. When you give thanks, darkness loses its claim over your atmosphere. Before this part concludes, the Archangel gives one more command. You must forgive yourself. He says, "Many of my chosen ones delay their blessing because they blame themselves for not seeing betrayal sooner." Release that guilt tonight. You were not blind. You were trusting. Trust is a virtue, not a flaw. Heaven honors your purity, even when others exploit it. Forgiving yourself completes the healing circle. Without it, restoration cannot sustain itself. Close your eyes now and repeat after me. I forgive myself for every missed sign, every wrong trust, and every wasted opportunity. I now walk in total clarity under divine guardianship. My wealth and my peace are sealed in heavenly light. Speak it with conviction. As those words leave your lips, Michael's light strengthens around you. Stay attentive, beloved, because the next revelation carries a divine map: how your restored wealth will align with your purpose and why certain people must never re-enter your path. You will understand that your new abundance is not random luck but strategic grace. Type "I embrace my divine return" in the comments if this message burns within your spirit. Blessing code 919 is now released for complete renewal, accelerated provision, and spiritual elevation. Beloved, you are standing at the turning point of your destiny. The storm that once shook your spirit has now become the very wind that carries you toward divine completion. Archangel Michael's presence tonight feels different, no longer as a warrior wielding judgment, but as a guardian preparing you for divine purpose. His voice speaks softly, yet the weight of his command still trembles through the unseen realms. You have passed the test, he declares. Now step into the purpose behind your pain. The heavens have decided that the season of exposure has fulfilled its purpose. What comes next is not about loss, it is about alignment. Michael begins by revealing the mystery of divine reordering. He says, when heaven rearranges your life, it first removes what you would never have removed on your own. This is why the betrayal had to happen. If deceit had not been exposed, you would still be surrounded by those who secretly desired your downfall. Sometimes, the rejection of man is the selection of God. The Archangel reminds you that every divine separation is protection in disguise. You were not abandoned. You were redirected. Those who walked away were never part of your future, only a lesson for your growth. Now that the deceiver has been exposed and divine judgment has begun, Michael is clearing the debris from your path. The emotional heaviness that lingers is only the residue of old energy trying to find a place to rest. Do not dwell on it. The Archangel commands, do not mourn the loss of what heaven removed. To cling to what has been is to resist what is arriving. The void you feel now is sacred space, room for new blessings to take root. Within days, you will sense moments of calm that feel almost supernatural. That peace is not emptiness, it is divine readiness. Heaven is now preparing to release what was withheld during the years of your confusion. Michael shows me a vision of a large chest opening, filled with light instead of gold. Inside that light are opportunities, relationships, and ideas that had been frozen in time. He says, every seed planted in tears will now bloom under my light. Some of these opportunities will appear through sudden phone calls, unexpected meetings, or divine coincidences that feel too precise to be chance. These are not accidents. They are strategic alignments written into your destiny long before betrayal entered your story. Michael's next instruction is practical yet deeply spiritual. You must master the discipline of stillness, he says. For years, chaos dictated your movements. You reacted to pain, responded to manipulation, and spent your strength defending what was rightfully yours. Now heaven wants you to operate from a place of authority, not reaction. Stillness does not mean inaction. It means discernment. Before you make any major move in business, relationships, or investments, pause and ask, is this aligned with my divine peace? If the peace remains, proceed. If confusion lingers, wait. The Archangel confirms, peace is your permission. Unrest is your protection. Another mystery revealed tonight concerns your family lineage. The betrayal that occurred was not random. It was a symptom of an ancestral pattern of envy and competition that has existed for generations. Michael declares, you have been chosen to end it. The same spirit that whispered jealousy in your relatives' ear once whispered in the ears of their forefathers. But because you responded with light, not hatred, the generational curse hath been broken. You are not only restoring your own wealth, you are purifying your bloodline. Heaven now records your name as a breaker of patterns. The chains that held your ancestors will not touch those who come after you. Archangel Michael reminds you that restoration always comes with responsibility. You are being trusted with abundance not to boast but to build. He says what you receive next will be too large for selfish use. You are being given resources that must serve the divine plan. Perhaps you will help someone in need, start something that blesses others, or create something that carries spiritual meaning. Whatever form it takes, your provision will be purposeful. This is why the enemy fought your finances so fiercely, because your prosperity is not just for you. It is a vessel for light to reach others. Michael's eyes, glowing like stars, gaze upon you as he declares, you have survived your wilderness. Now prepare for harvest. In the next few weeks, there will be visible confirmation that heaven has restored your favor. A contract will close in your favor, a relationship will reconcile, or a financial opportunity will multiply unexpectedly. When it happens, do not downplay it. Acknowledge it aloud, saying, this is divine justice fulfilled. Speaking it seals the manifestation. Heaven also sends a warning within the blessing. The Archangel says, be cautious with new alliances. The enemy does not retire. It reinvents itself. Learn from past wounds, but do not let suspicion harden your heart. You will discern clearly when someone's intentions are pure, for your spirit will respond differently. You have developed spiritual sight through this trial. Where once you felt uncertainty, now you will sense truth. This heightened intuition is part of your new armor. The Archangel's final message for tonight carries a tone of deep assurance. You are not behind. You are right on divine schedule. Many of you have looked at your life and felt you lost precious time to betrayal. But heaven does not measure time by clocks. It measures by obedience. Every moment you remained faithful accelerated your timeline spiritually. In divine mathematics, faith redeems delay. You will soon find yourself in places that would have taken others decades to reach, because heaven has granted you restoration without limitation. Before this part concludes, Michael invites you to release one final prayer. Heavenly Father, through Archangel Michael's protection, I accept full restoration of what was mine. I walk in divine timing, divine trust, and divine purpose. No hand of deceit shall touch my abundance again. Speak those words with certainty, for they finalize the decree of recovery. Take a deep breath now. The light you feel around you is the tangible presence of Archangel Michael sealing your environment. The battle is no longer external. It has shifted into blessing. What comes next will not test your endurance, but your stewardship. Prepare to carry abundance with grace. Hold steady, beloved, because the next revelation will uncover how your restored wealth begins to attract divine partnerships and how Michael uses them to expand your influence for good. The story is not ending. It is evolving. Type "I walk in divine alignment" in the comments if this truth touches your spirit. Blessing code 1201 is now released for divine order, heavenly insight, and supernatural favor. Beloved, the dawn of your restoration is no longer approaching. It has begun. The angels surrounding you tonight stand in formation, and Archangel Michael leads them with authority that shakes the invisible realm. He speaks your name like a decree carved in flame. The chosen one has entered the chamber of new beginnings, he declares. Every closed door has heard the command to open. The air carries an unmistakable tension, not of danger, but of expectancy. The heavens are preparing to deliver what was promised to you long before betrayal tried to rob you. Michael begins this message with a revelation about divine partnerships. He says, no destiny unfolds alone. Heaven weaves people into your story for purpose, not convenience. Some who once stood beside you were there only to expose your strength. Others will now be placed beside you to expand your influence. Watch closely in the coming days, for new connections are about to appear. They may not look impressive by worldly standards, but they will carry divine assignments. These are individuals handpicked by heaven, those who see your light and seek to build, not drain. When they enter your life, you will feel peace wrap around the conversation like a mantle. That is the Archangel's confirmation. But Michael also warns, be slow to label anyone a partner. Not everyone who admires your journey deserves access to your inner circle. The betrayal you faced was meant to sharpen your discernment. Now that you have survived deception, heaven expects you to steward your relationships with spiritual intelligence. Discernment is not suspicion. It is clarity bathed in peace. If a new connection comes without peace, step back. If peace lingers, move forward with trust. The Archangel assures you that this time, you will not walk blindly. Heaven has already begun repositioning you. There's movement happening behind closed doors, meetings you are not yet aware of, and decisions being made in your favor. The Archangel's warriors are influencing hearts, shifting attitudes, and arranging divine timing so that when your name is mentioned, favor accompanies it. He says, your reputation is being rebuilt by the hands of angels. Those who once doubted you will soon have to witness your elevation, and they will know that it was not man who lifted you. It was heaven. Michael reveals another mystery tonight. He says that wealth in the spiritual realm is not limited to currency. It is the energy of influence, the flow of opportunity, and the favor that follows obedience. You have stepped into a season where divine wealth will manifest through multiple channels. You might receive unexpected financial opportunities, creative ideas, or strategic partnerships that seem too aligned to be accidental. Each of these blessings will carry the fragrance of purpose. They are not random. They are answers to prayers you forgot you prayed. Heaven has been listening even when you thought silence meant rejection. The Archangel also speaks about your voice. Your words are now instruments of creation, he says. What you speak in faith will shape your environment. You must be careful now with every declaration you make. Words born in fear can delay miracles, but words anchored in trust accelerate them. Speak only what you wish to see. Say, "My life is overflowing with divine provision." Every door that opens is aligned with heaven's plan. The angels respond instantly to such decrees. They do not move by emotion. They move by spiritual law. When you speak truth, they build around it. Now Michael invites you to do something symbolic. He says, "Write the names of those who stood with you in truth and pray over them. These are your divine allies, the ones who did not flee when you were broken. As you bless them, your own blessings multiply. This is the secret of kingdom wealth. Generosity releases acceleration. When you sow gratitude, heaven multiplies opportunity. You will soon notice that as you honor others, your own doors open faster. Gratitude is not only emotional, it is prophetic. The Archangel then turns his gaze toward your fears. He says, "The shadow of loss still tries to whisper to you, but its voice has no authority." Those moments of doubt that creep into your mind are remnants of a battle that has already ended. Do not rehearse old pain. Rehearse new promises. Every time fear speaks, answer with faith. Say aloud, "It is finished. I am restored. I am protected." Heaven records those words as seals of truth. Michael reveals that the coming weeks will bring visible evidence of divine turnaround. Something that was stagnant will suddenly move. A stalled plan will restart. An unresolved matter will close in your favor. It may seem like coincidence to others, but you will recognize it as fulfillment. The Archangel's wings are stirring in the realm of cause and effect, ensuring that justice manifests not only spiritually but materially. Heaven also sends a tender warning. As new wealth flows in, remember humility. You are not being blessed to boast, you are being positioned to model grace. Michael says, "The true test of restoration is not how loudly you celebrate victory, but how quietly you carry light." The world does not need proof of your worth. It needs the reflection of divine character through you. Carry your abundance with calm strength. Let your stability preach louder than your story. The Archangel concludes with a vision of a massive gate of light. Beyond it are fields of gold stretching endlessly. He says this is not fantasy. This is the spiritual image of your restored domain. You will live in abundance, but more importantly, you will walk in authority. Your life will become evidence that heaven protects its own. Those words carry the vibration of finality. The enemy's claim against your wealth, your peace, and your influence has been permanently revoked. Now take a slow breath and repeat this affirmation. I align my steps with divine order. Every partnership that enters my life will serve heaven's purpose. Every resource I receive will multiply for good. I am covered by Archangel Michael's light. Speak it until peace settles over you. That peace is not temporary emotion. It is confirmation of covenant. Stay tuned, beloved, because the next revelation carries the unveiling of the harvest season. You will learn how to sustain and expand what heaven releases so that nothing ever slips from your hands again. The Archangel has already prepared the teaching, and its wisdom will strengthen every part of your journey. Type "I walk with divine partnership" in the comments if this word resonates in your heart. Blessing code 1444 is now released for accelerated favor, purified connections, and supernatural prosperity. Beloved one, the heavens are alive with sound tonight. It is the rhythm of completion, the melody that plays when divine promises start taking form in the natural realm. Archangel Michael stands in the center of this light, his sword no longer lifted for battle but resting as a seal of victory. He says the war over your inheritance has been won. Now, learn to walk as one who carries divine dominion. The season of revelation has matured into manifestation. What was once spoken in prophecy will soon become visible evidence in your life. Michael begins this message with a sacred declaration. The harvest is ready. He is not speaking of grain or crops, but of every seed you planted in pain, every prayer whispered in uncertainty, every act of kindness that went unnoticed, every time you gave when you barely had enough. Heaven has remembered those moments, and they have now matured into divine return. He says, your tears were not wasted. They watered the roots of your future. You are about to step into a cycle of continuous harvest, not because of luck, but because obedience has finally reached its full reward. This new season carries both blessing and instruction. Archangel Michael warns, do not mistake manifestation for completion. When heaven gives you a gift, it also tests your stewardship. You are no longer the person you were before betrayal. You are wiser now, more spiritually awake, more sensitive to divine timing. The Archangel calls this the era of responsibility. Every opportunity that comes will require you to discern whether it serves your divine assignment. If it does, pursue it boldly. If it doesn't, release it without hesitation. The same wisdom that protected you from deception must now guide your abundance. Michael reveals a vision of a great field, half filled with golden grain, half empty and waiting. He explains, the full harvest cannot appear until you decide what to plant next. Restoration is not an ending, it is a beginning. Heaven has returned your wealth, but what you do with it determines whether it multiplies or diminishes. The Archangel instructs you to dedicate your resources with purpose. Use part of what you gain to build something that honors the divine, perhaps a work, a cause, or a gift that lifts others from darkness. Every generous act becomes a seed that ensures continued flow. There is also a warning hidden within the blessing. Michael says, prosperity attracts attention, both pure and corrupted. Some will approach you with admiration, others with envy disguised as friendship. You must guard your energy with the same diligence that you guard your finances. The Archangel's shield surrounds those who remain humble. If pride enters, the shield weakens. Gratitude keeps your protection intact. Wake each morning with these words, everything I have is borrowed light, returned for purpose. This daily confession aligns your heart with heaven's rhythm. Now the Archangel speaks about your voice in this new chapter. You are a carrier of testimony, he says. Your story is a doorway for others to find courage. Do not hide what you have survived. Speak it, but speak it with grace, not bitterness. When you share how heaven restored you, your words will awaken faith in those who are still trapped in deceit. Your restoration is not just your own victory. It is an instrument for liberation. You were chosen not only to rise, but to show others that rising is possible. In the spiritual realm, your new name has already been announced. Michael says they now call you the Redeemed of Light. The title carries authority. It means your prayers now echo differently. They carry the weight of someone who has overcome. When you intercede for others, heaven responds swiftly because your faith has been proven through fire. The same strength that sustained you will now empower your words to bring healing, wisdom, and financial recovery to others. The Archangel declares, you are now a deliverer of deliverance. In the days ahead, you will feel moments of divine urgency, sudden ideas, inspirations, or nudges that seem too clear to ignore. Follow them. These are heavenly directives meant to guide your next steps. Michael explains that heaven's instructions often come softly, through intuition rather than thunder. Train your heart to recognize that gentle pull. The more you obey those quiet signals, the faster your blessings will expand. Heaven also prepares you for expansion beyond your comfort zone. Some of you will find yourselves moving to new places, meeting new allies, or entering platforms that once seemed unreachable. This is not random movement. It is strategic placement. The Archangel says, Heaven relocates those who are ready for greater influence. Do not resist change. You are not losing stability. You are gaining territory. Every shift in your environment carries purpose. Trust the unfolding. Michael concludes this revelation with a final decree. From this day forward, you are no longer a survivor. You are a steward. The battle that once defined you no longer controls you. You have crossed from warfare to governance. Your authority has expanded. Angels now guard your work, your words, and your wealth. The enemy no longer has permission to interfere. Every attempt of darkness against your progress will now be turned into a platform for greater visibility. This is divine recompense in motion. Before this message closes, the Archangel asks you to lift your right hand and declare aloud, I receive my harvest in full measure. I will use what heaven gives me to bless, to build, and to illuminate. My wealth will speak truth. My peace will be my testimony. Say it with strength. Those words are not mere affirmations. They are heavenly contracts signed through your voice. Now take a moment to honor what you have received. Like, comment, and share this message so that it reaches others still bound by loss. Help awaken those who have forgotten that heaven restores. Subscribe and stay connected, for these divine messages are not entertainment. They are instructions from the throne. Each one carries light meant to reach beyond your life. Spread that light. Type I reap my heavenly harvest in the comments if this truth resonates in your soul. Blessing code 1888 is now released for overflowing abundance, multiplied favor, and divine security. And now, beloved, as this part concludes, hear this support message that flows directly from the Archangel's heart. When you receive a word that shifts your spirit, it is not by coincidence. It is divine appointment. Heaven entrusts this channel to release prophetic truth to those who are weary, and through your faith, that light travels further. If your heart is moved tonight, take a step of divine partnership. You can release a seed of gratitude through super thanks by joining our membership or through the PayPal link in the video description. This is not about giving to a person. It is about fueling the mission of awakening souls. Archangel Michael declares, those who sow into truth will never reap in lack. Every act of generosity is recorded as spiritual light that circles back multiplied. Your seed becomes a voice, sending this message to someone who desperately needs it but has not yet heard. Do not hesitate. Respond in faith. As you release your support, may the river of divine wealth overflow in your life. May open heavens replace closed doors. May every giver tonight walk under the blessing of restoration multiplied by obedience. Heaven is watching, and your act of faith is being sealed in light. Beloved heart, tonight the Archangel's message descends like soft rain over a field that has waited too long for renewal. You can feel it, can't you? The stillness that no longer feels empty but expectant. This is the calm of divine order after the storm. Archangel Michael stands before the throne, his sword lowered, his voice calm, saying, now the restoration must take root. The work of exposure and recovery is complete, but heaven does not end with victory. It builds upon it. You are being called into a higher dimension of responsibility, one where your restored wealth and peace must now serve their ultimate purpose. Michael begins this teaching with a truth that carries both beauty and weight. When God restores, he says he does not return what was stolen in the same form. He transforms it into something higher. What was taken from you as money may return as opportunity. What left you as friendship may return as divine alignment. What was drained from your energy may reappear as authority. You are not receiving back fragments, you are receiving evolution. Heaven's law never repays at the level of less, it always multiplies to match the less learned. The Archangel shows a vision of a seed breaking open underground. He explains the seed must first break to grow. That breaking represents your betrayal, your pain, your collapse. Yet the soil of suffering has now birthed something unstoppable. You have become a vessel of wisdom. People will soon come to you, drawn by the calm strength in your voice. They will not know the full story of your journey, but they will sense that you have touched something holy. The peace surrounding you is not accidental. It is the fragrance of one who has survived divine fire. Now heaven begins to expand your territory. The Archangel says, you will be seen, and your influence will increase, but you must remain anchored in humility. Visibility is not reward, it is assignment. You are being lifted because heaven trusts your heart not to misuse the platform. Every new level will carry new eyes watching you, some admiring, some envious. Guard your motives, and let grace be your answer to both applause and criticism. You are not rising for fame, you are rising for function. The light through you must illuminate others, not blind them. Michael reminds you that divine abundance must circulate. He says, keep your resources moving toward purpose. When heaven flows through you, it expects continuity. Give where the Spirit prompts, invest where peace leads, and refuse to hoard out of fear. The wealth you now carry has been purified by divine fire. It will multiply when shared. The Archangel declares, you are not an owner of light. You are a distributor of it. Your generosity is no longer optional. It is your divine identity. There is also a spiritual warning woven into tonight's message. Michael says, the thief who was exposed may attempt one last return through memory. Even though the physical deception is over, the emotional echoes may resurface. You may recall words that wounded you or situations that embarrassed you. These memories are like ghosts trying to reclaim residence. When they arise, speak firmly, that season is finished. I stand in restored peace. Your declaration acts as a door that locks behind the past. The enemy cannot inhabit a mind that continually affirms truth. Now the Archangel directs his words toward your dreams. He says, there are visions you once abandoned because pain made them feel impossible. Pick them up again. Some ideas, books, businesses, or missions you left unfinished are waiting for your renewed confidence. The same spiritual fire that protected you will now fuel your creativity. The Archangel has assigned inspiration angels to work with you. You will begin to experience sudden clarity, solutions appearing effortlessly, timing aligning perfectly, people showing up precisely when needed. These are not coincidences, they are heaven's choreography. Heaven has also released a new level of discernment into your spirit. Michael says, you will now recognize spiritual counterfeits before they speak. This gift is given to protect your next chapter. Before deception reaches your heart, your spirit will feel an inner hesitation. That pause is your signal. You no longer have to learn through pain. You will now learn through awareness. The Archangel smiles as he says, you have graduated from reaction to revelation. Beloved, understand that peace is your new normal. You may not be used to it yet because chaos has been your companion for so long. But Michael says, do not mistake stillness for emptiness. The absence of turmoil is proof that angels are now guarding the gates that were once left open. As you wake each day, take a moment to thank heaven for the calm that surrounds you. Gratitude maintains the vibration of blessing. The more you honor peace, the longer it stays. The Archangel reveals one more secret. He says, your story has been written into the tapestry of redemption. Those who once harmed you will witness your restoration and know that God cannot be mocked. Some may attempt apology, others may withdraw in silence. You are not to seek validation from either. Your vindication will be your visible success, your peace, and your unwavering grace. The highest form of revenge is fulfillment. The Archangel insists, rise so high in light that those who betrayed you cannot even recognize you from that altitude. Before we close this message, Michael instructs you to perform one small but powerful act. Take a moment tonight to speak gratitude aloud for everything that happened, the good and the painful. Say, I thank heaven for every wound, for through them I found wisdom. I thank Archangel Michael for guarding my soul and restoring my path. I release my past completely. Those words finalize your transformation. The moment you speak them, heaven records your file as complete. And now, the Archangel turns his eyes toward your future. He says, you will soon be invited into something that stretches your capacity. Accept it. Heaven's expansion rarely feels comfortable, but comfort never births greatness. Do not fear the unknown. It is simply divine opportunity in disguise. The Archangel promises that every risk taken under peace will yield divine success. Hold tight, beloved, for the next revelation will unveil the mystery of divine multiplication, how the blessings released now will multiply themselves without toil. The next message carries the formula that heaven uses to sustain long-term favor. You will not want to miss what comes next. Type I live in complete restoration in the comments if this message resonates deeply within your heart. Blessing code 2227 is now activated for sustained favor, creative expansion, and generational breakthrough. Beloved, the light that surrounds you now is not the faint glow of hope. It is the radiant blaze of fulfillment. Archangel Michael stands before the altar of heaven, his armor gleaming like molten gold, and he speaks these words over you. The season of gathering has begun. What was restored will now multiply. The sound of this declaration moves through unseen realms, summoning opportunities, drawing resources, and activating divine laws that ensure your abundance will no longer wither. Heaven is no longer defending you. It is promoting you. You are no longer in recovery, you are in reign. The Archangel begins tonight's message with an explanation of divine multiplication. What heaven gives once, he says, it intends to grow without end. The blessings you are now receiving are living forces, not static gifts. When aligned with purpose, they replicate themselves naturally. That is the difference between wealth that fades and wealth that flows. Every act of gratitude, every generous decision, every word spoken in faith causes your blessing to breathe and expand. You are now a living channel through which heaven's abundance circulates. If you hoard, the flow stops. If you release with wisdom, it multiplies. Michael reminds you that this law of multiplication existed since creation. When God said, "Be fruitful and multiply," he was not only speaking to flesh but to purpose. Every divine assignment carries a reproductive nature. Your influence, ideas, and resources were meant to seed others. Heaven does not bless isolation. It blesses connection. The Archangel urges you to view everything in your hands as a seed: your time, your words, your wealth, your creativity. What you invest with love will always return greater. You are a steward of circulation, not storage. But heaven's abundance also comes with order. Michael warns, growth without guidance becomes chaos. The enemy will attempt to distract you with too many options, too many offers, too many roads. You must discern which opportunities are divine and which are diversions. The Archangel says, every blessing carries a sound. If it sings peace into your spirit, it is yours. If it breeds confusion, leave it. Do not chase what glitters, pursue what glows. True wealth carries peace as its fragrance. As the season unfolds, you will begin to notice acceleration in every area. Ideas manifesting quickly, prayers answered within days, doors opening faster than you can knock. Do not fear this speed. It is heaven redeeming time. The Archangel explains, when divine justice restores, it does not return you to where you were. It brings you to where you should have been. Every lost year is being condensed into moments of favor. You are stepping into a reality where delay is forbidden. Michael shows a vision of a river branching into many streams. He says, each stream represents an area of your life now touched by light, finances, relationships, creativity, health, and peace. None will run dry. This flow is permanent as long as you remain in gratitude. Each time you honor the source, the current strengthens. Complain, and the current slows. Give thanks, and it rushes forward again. Heaven's economy moves through vibration, and gratitude is its currency. The Archangel now addresses a silent question in your heart, the fear of losing it all again. He says the enemy cannot steal what heaven owns. Your blessings are no longer in the realm of chance. They are sealed under divine law. You are not returning to vulnerability. You are walking in sovereignty. Every resource you receive is now under angelic protection. When you make decisions, imagine Michael's wings covering the outcome. You are no longer gambling with destiny. You are governing it. Heaven also gives instruction for maintaining balance. The Archangel says as abundance increases, solitude becomes necessary. You must create space for stillness to hear divine guidance amid success. The same quiet that sustained you in struggle must remain in prosperity. Business can drown wisdom. Schedule silence. Protect your mornings. In that sacred quiet, heaven speaks the next instruction. The richest souls are those who never stop listening. Now Michael reveals something deeply prophetic. He says your increase carries generational purpose. The wealth flowing to you will not stop with you. It is designed to establish stability for those who come after you. You are the turning point of your bloodline. Where there was once scarcity, there will now be continuity. Your descendants will not know the chains you broke. You are writing a new spiritual inheritance, one of wisdom, abundance, and divine security. The Archangel smiles as he says, your name will be remembered not for what you lost, but for what you restored. As your influence expands, heaven will send people to learn from you. Some will seek guidance, others healing, others simply presence. You do not need to perform miracles. Your life will be the miracle. The peace you carry will minister silently. Those who sit near you will feel lighter. Those who speak with you will leave clearer. That is the sign of one walking under Archangel Michael's mantle. Your energy will cleanse atmospheres. Michael ends this revelation with a command. Do not fear greatness. Many humble souls reject abundance because they associate it with pride. But humility does not mean hiding. It means shining without arrogance. The world needs examples of righteous prosperity, people who prove that light can be powerful without corruption. That is your role now. Heaven wants you visible so that faithless hearts may believe restoration is real. Before you end this message, speak these words aloud. I accept my divine multiplication. I am trusted with abundance. I will use my wealth, wisdom, and words to expand light. My blessings shall not fade. They shall increase for generations. Say it slowly. Each sentence activates a layer of divine authority within you. The Archangel stands near, sealing your confession with fire. Stay close, beloved, for the next revelation carries the teaching of the covenant of light, how to guard your spiritual and financial peace permanently. You will learn how heaven maintains flow even in earthly storms. What is coming next will complete the circle of your restoration. Type "I multiply" in divine order in the comments if this word resonates in your soul. Blessing code 3339 is now released for limitless increase, generational stability, and divine overflow. Beloved soul, the hour has come for understanding. You have moved through exposure, through battle, through recovery, and now through multiplication. But Archangel Michael says this final transformation, the covenant of light, will determine whether your blessings endure for a lifetime or fade into memory. Heaven's plan for you was never mere survival. You were chosen to establish a pattern of divine consistency, a rhythm where blessing does not come and go but grows and governs. The Archangel's voice, calm and resonant, fills the unseen atmosphere as he declares, "The one who keeps covenant keeps creation alive within their life." Michael begins by revealing the meaning of covenant. A covenant, he says, is a spiritual agreement between heaven and the human heart. It is not bound by paper or law but by intention and obedience. You entered this covenant the moment you believed that divine justice could restore what was lost. Every prayer, every surrender, every act of forgiveness became your signature upon this eternal contract. Now heaven asks that you maintain it. The Archangel says, "Do not treat restoration as an event. Treat it as a relationship." You must guard your connection with heaven the same way one guards a sacred flame, tending it daily with reverence and awareness. Heaven's covenant has 3 pillars: gratitude, discipline, and truth. Gratitude keeps the flow alive. Each time you acknowledge that every breath, every opportunity, every new morning is divine grace, you align yourself with heaven's rhythm. Discipline maintains stability. It means choosing what serves your purpose and refusing what drains it. Truth ensures alignment. It means living without masks, without pretending, without shrieking from authenticity. These 3 together form your spiritual infrastructure, the foundation upon which the new life will stand. Michael warns that the enemy's next attempt will not be theft. It will be distraction. He says, when the darkness cannot steal your blessing, it will try to dilute your focus. You will encounter many voices, invitations, and paths that seem harmless but subtly pull you from your center. Do not lose your focus on the light. The Archangel reminds you that every blessing carries responsibility, and responsibility requires boundaries. The more light you carry, the more careful you must be about where you walk. Protect your energy from gossip, from comparison, from constant noise. Stillness is the soil where revelation continues to grow. The Archangel reveals a vision, a flame surrounded by mirrors. He explains you are the flame, the mirrors are those who watch you. They will reflect what they see. If you live in peace, they will mirror peace. If you live in gratitude, they will mirror faith. Your covenant extends beyond yourself. It influences those who observe your life. This is why heaven polished you through suffering, so that when light shines on you, it reflects purely. What others see in you should point them toward the Creator. Every act of integrity, every gentle word, every refusal to compromise becomes part of your ministry. Michael turns his message toward your relationship with wealth and power. Handle abundance as you would a sacred relic, he says, with awareness, not attachment. The wealth given to you is not reward. It is responsibility. You are entrusted to circulate it, to build, to heal, to sustain. Never let possession replace purpose. Heaven withdraws from pride but expands through humility. Remember this. Prosperity without devotion leads to depletion. But when prosperity flows through gratitude, it replenishes itself endlessly. There will also be times when heaven asks you to release something you value. Do not resist. The Archangel says, every sacrifice requested by God is an exchange for a higher blessing. The human mind sees loss. Heaven sees preparation. Each time you surrender, heaven fills the empty space with something greater. You are no longer losing. You are trading up. Trust that divine arithmetic always favors increase, even when subtraction appears first. Now comes a divine mystery. Our peace becomes protection. Michael says, when your heart remains calm in chaos, the enemy loses strategy. Fear is fuel for darkness, but peace is armor for the soul. Cultivate peace like a daily discipline. It is not given once, it is chosen repeatedly. You will face moments when the world tests your patience or uncertainty presses against your faith. In those moments, do not speak panic. Speak truth. Say, I am anchored in divine order. My peace cannot be shaken. The more you practice this, the less power chaos will have. The Archangel shows you standing on a high mountain with radiant light flowing from your chest into the horizon. He says, this is the life of covenant, a continuous outpouring that never runs dry. You are becoming a living sanctuary, a space where heaven and earth meet. Those who encounter you will sense stability they cannot explain. Some will seek to learn your secret, and you will teach them this truth. Consistency is the fruit of covenant. Heaven also brings reassurance about your future. Michael says, you will not return to old cycles. The enemy cannot drag you backward because the version of you that existed before no longer remains. You have been transformed through revelation, rebuilt through trust, and crowned through obedience. The covenant of light ensures that your steps are guided, your ideas divinely inspired, and your legacy protected. Even when you rest, heaven works. Before closing this message, Michael gives one final directive. Each morning, before you speak to anyone, whisper these words, I renew my covenant with light. I live in gratitude, act in truth, and move in peace. These simple words keep your alignment sharp. They are like daily signatures reaffirming your spiritual contact. Do not neglect this. The smallest daily acts sustain the greatest miracles. Beloved, as you breathe in this revelation, feel the stillness in your spirit. That stillness is your confirmation. Heaven is not planning to bless you. Heaven is already blessing you. You are walking proof that divine order triumphs over chaos. The Archangel now stands beside you, his hand upon your shoulder, whispering, keep walking. You are almost at completion. The final revelation is near, the one that will seal everything you have learned and release your eternal inheritance. Type I keep the covenant of light in the comments if this message resonates deeply within your heart. Blessing code 4044 is now released for divine consistency, eternal peace, and unshakable protection. Beloved child of eternity, the air tonight is heavy with completion. The golden record of heaven is open before the throne, and your name gleams upon it in letters of living light. Archangel Michael stands beside that record, his wings extended wide, his countenance filled with quiet triumph. It is finished, he declares. The one who was tested by loss has become a keeper of divine law. The heavens echoed his words. Every trial, every betrayal, every hidden tear has led to this moment. You have crossed through exposure, restoration, multiplication, and covenant. Now you step into inheritance. The Archangel begins softly, his tone filled with reverence rather than command. Inheritance, he says, is not only the receiving of things but the becoming of truth. You are no longer the person who began this journey. You are the vessel through which heaven proves its faithfulness. Every lesson you endured was a sculptor's hand shaping you into a living temple. Your wealth is no longer gold and silver. It is wisdom, stability, and divine awareness. When heaven looks upon you now, it does not see a survivor. It sees a representative of divine order in motion. Michael explains that this final stage of the journey is eternal rather than seasonal. All that you have gained will not fade because it now carries the signature of heaven, he says. The blessing you carry is self-sustaining. Divine favor has been encoded into your name, your energy, your presence. Wherever you go, harmony will follow. People will find peace near you without understanding why. The residue of divine order clings to you like light that never extinguishes. The Archangel says, this is the true inheritance, not the possessions of man, but the influence of heaven. Heaven now establishes your dominion in 3 realms: inner peace, outer purpose, and generational impact. Inner peace means that no voice of fear will again rule your mind. Outer purpose means that what you create will carry eternal meaning. Generational impact means that your choices now carve paths for others to walk safely in light. This is why the attacks were so fierce against you, because the enemy saw that your obedience would heal many. But you endured, and now the same battle that once weakened you has become your authority. The Archangel shows a vision. You standing in a vast field under a sky filled with radiant fire. Around you, countless figures rise. These are the souls your story will touch. Michael says your testimony has become a key for others locked in despair. When you speak your truth, chains break in unseen places. Heaven does not waste pain. It recycles it into power. Every word you utter with honesty carries the vibration of deliverance. You will speak lightly, but your words will shake foundations in other lives. Heaven gives one last instruction about sustaining divine inheritance. Michael says, remain faithful to daily gratitude. Gratitude is not repetition, it is renewal. Each thankfulness renews your link with the source. Wake every morning and declare, I am thankful for peace, for purpose, and for the unseen protection that guides me. When gratitude becomes your rhythm, no power can interrupt your flow. The Archangel confirms that even when storms rise in the world around you, your light will remain undimmed. The world will know you as one unshaken by circumstance. There will come moments when you feel heaven's silence again, not as abandonment, but as maturity. Michael says, the teacher becomes quiet when the student begins to create. Heaven will trust you to move without constant instruction because you have learned alignment. In that silence, act with confidence. You now know the language of peace. It is heaven's yes. You now know the weight of confusion. It is heaven's weight. This discernment ensures that you will never drift again. Now the Archangel turns to your destiny's larger circle. He says, the inheritance you carry must travel beyond your lifetime. What you build, speak, write, and give will echo across generations. Your integrity will be remembered longer than your name. You are laying spiritual infrastructure for others to build upon. Even when you leave this earth, your light will remain, woven into the lives you touched. This is the immortality of obedience. Michael gives a promise sealed in eternity. No hand can remove what heaven has inscribed. The thief that once prowled your circle is bound by divine law never to return. The wealth you hold now will multiply without interference. The peace you feel will deepen into wisdom. The authority you speak with will mature into legacy. You are not merely free. You are enthroned in spiritual authority. When you pray, angels respond. When you rest, heaven watches. When you act, creation aligns. You have become a living extension of divine justice. The Archangel concludes with this declaration: go forth in quiet power. Let your life testify, not your words. Walk with dignity, speak with mercy, give with discernment, and live with gratitude. The battle that once defined you has become your crown. He then lowers his sword before you and says, this weapon that once defended you will now serve you. The sword transforms into a scepter of light in your hands, a symbol of divine governance. You no longer fight for survival, you rule through serenity. Take a moment now. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Whisper, I receive my eternal inheritance. I walk in peace that cannot be shaken, in wealth that cannot be stolen, and in wisdom that cannot fade. Feel the weight of those words. They are the signature of completion. Heaven marks this very moment as the closing of one chapter and the opening of another without end. You are no longer waiting for change. You are the evidence of it. Beloved, before this divine journey concludes, Archangel Michael asks you to spread the same light that lifted you. Like, share, and comment to help this message reach those who still wander in darkness. Let your support become part of the mission. Subscribe and stand with the army of light as we continue to awaken the hearts of the lost. Your engagement is not just action. It is agreement with heaven's expansion. Type I walk in eternal inheritance in the comments if this revelation confirms your spirit. Blessing code 5555 is now released for endless favor, divine wisdom, and unbreakable peace. And now, beloved, as heaven seals this series, listen carefully to this final support message carried through the Archangel's authority. When you stand before words like these, you stand in holy ground. The mission of this channel is not entertainment. It is awakening. Every message delivered here is a spark meant to reignite weary hearts. If you have felt heaven through these words, consider becoming a guardian of the light. Through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the video description, you can plant a seed that sends this light further into the world. Archangel Michael declares, those who sustain the flow of divine truth will never know drought. Your gift is not donation, it is declaration. It says to heaven, I believe in the spread of light. As you release that seed, new cycles of abundance are opened to you. Heaven watches givers differently. Their names are recorded beside the flame of provision. Let your act tonight be one of faith, not obligation. When you give, speak these words, I sow into revelation, and I reap unending grace. May every supporter who acts tonight receive the triple blessing of restoration, expansion, and protection. May your homes overflow with peace, your paths filled with opportunity, and your name be surrounded by favor. Heaven records your faith, and the Archangel himself releases light over your household. So let it be sealed now, by covenant, by gratitude, and by the fire of divine purpose.